Nobody announced it. There was no press conference, no royal decree, no carefully worded palace statement explaining that the balance of power inside the British monarchy had fundamentally shifted. It happened the way the most significant things inside that institution always happen. Quietly, deliberately, and with the kind of patience that only someone who understands they are playing a very long game can sustain. But when you line up everything that has happened in 2026, the Ascot confrontation, the slimmed-down mandate, the Associate Royals' decision, the Balmoral legal action, the exclusion from key events, a picture emerges that is impossible to misread. Camilla is being systematically and methodically reduced. Not through open confrontation, not through dramatic public statements, through the slow, deliberate removal of the informal power structures that have supported her position since she married Charles in 2005, one brick at a time, each removal individually explainable, together forming something that looks very much like a permanent restructuring of who actually matters inside the House of Windsor. And the person doing the restructuring has not made a single public statement about any of it. He has not needed to. Welcome to the Marquee Report. This is the complete documented case for why Camilla's position is more precarious than it has ever been, and why the evidence has been hiding in plain sight all year. Let's start with the moment that made everything visible, because Royal Ascot 2026 was not just an uncomfortable afternoon at the races. It was the moment William stopped being subtle. Camilla had reportedly been advancing a plan for months. Her son, Tom Parker Bowles, a successful food writer with genuine media connections, was going to be positioned in the front row of the royal box. Not through official channels, not through the formal approval process that governs who represents the crown at state occasions. Through a back-channel directive from the Queen Consort herself, placing her own bloodline in spaces they had no official right to occupy. When Major Thompson, the King's senior equerry, discovered the unauthorized seating arrangement just before the public gates opened, his response was straightforward. He approached Tom Parker Bowles and explained clearly that his assigned seat was in the private, non-working guest section at the rear of the box. What followed was not reasonable. Tom Parker Bowles reportedly launched into an aggressive tirade against Thompson. He declared that the seating change had been personally ordered by the Queen. He reached for his phone to contact Camilla directly, intending to get immediate intervention that would override the equerry's resistance. Thompson confiscated the device. The call was ended, and then Prince William arrived for his formal timed entry. Tom Parker Bowles apparently attempted to use William's arrival to his advantage, addressing him with jarring familiarity, demanding he intervene and restore the front row seating. William stopped. His face hardened. He gave one single imperceptible nod to the security detail. No words. One nod. Tom Parker Bowles was escorted entirely out of the royal box. And then Camilla, apparently understanding exactly what had just happened and what it signaled, walked out of Royal Ascot entirely. An unscheduled exit that threw the afternoon into administrative chaos and exposed the internal conflict to thousands of spectators and the global press corps at the worst possible moment. Never in modern royal history had a reigning queen consort walked out of the crown's most important annual social showcase to signal a personal grievance. By leaving, she confirmed publicly what everyone present already knew privately. She had lost that confrontation completely. Here is the institutional consequence that followed the Ascot confrontation, and it is the one that carries the most permanent structural weight. King Charles responded to the public chaos by introducing what is being called the slimmed-down mandate, a formal administrative decree codifying with absolute clarity who is permitted to occupy the core symbolic spaces of the monarchy. Only working royals who have taken constitutional oaths and dedicated their lives to state service are permitted to occupy the central rows of the royal box. The balcony of Buckingham Palace, official state portraits, the premier positions at every major institutional event, Additionally, Tom Parker Bowles was formally restricted from providing media commentary on Royal Health Palace logistics or institutional policy. The perceived insider status he had been quietly constructing through television appearances, the access that made him appear to speak with authority about royal matters, was formally stripped away. And critically, the king implemented a new approval process. Camilla's office must now submit proposed invitations for non-royal family members to the Prince of Wales's office for final consent in advance of any institutional event. Read that again. William now holds a veto over the presence of the Parker Bowles family at official state functions. Every future attempt to position Camilla's extended family at the visual center of the monarchy will be blocked before it reaches the public eye. Not argued about, not negotiated, blocked, because William has a formal institutional mechanism to prevent it, and Charles put that mechanism in place himself. Here is where William's strategy reveals itself as more sophisticated than a simple blocking operation. Because he did not just say no to Camilla's proposal to give Tom Parker Bowles an official patron role. He immediately solved the problem she claimed only Tom could solve, with someone else entirely. Peter Phillips, Queen Elizabeth's oldest grandson and Princess Anne's son, was proposed as an associate royal alongside his wife Harriet Spurling. Peter brings 20 years of genuine private sector experience, corporate roles at Jaguar and Williams Formula One, managing director of Sel Uke, direct bloodline legitimacy as Elizabeth's grandson, and a deep personal friendship with William that means he already functions as a trusted figure within the Wales inner circle. Harriet brings specialized pediatric nursing expertise that connects directly to Catherine's most important long-term public health campaigns around early childhood development. Crucially, neither Peter nor Harriet costs the public a penny. No titles, no public funding, no constitutional complications. They volunteer their professional skills to specific high-priority campaigns, with every public appearance vetted and approved by William's press office. The contrast with what Camilla proposed is devastating in its clarity. She wanted to bend constitutional rules, blur bloodline boundaries, and set a precedent that could reshape the institution for generations. William's counter-proposal required no rule changes, no public funding, and was backed by direct Windsor bloodline legitimacy. Faced with that alternative, Camilla withdrew her proposal entirely. The bid to place Tom Parker Bowles inside the official machinery of the monarchy was permanently cancelled. Charles approved William's arrangement. Camilla had no remaining argument. The manpower problem she identified as justification for her proposal had been solved, without her son. Now let's talk about the story that has received the least coverage relative to its significance. Because Princess Anne reportedly taking legal action over the alleged commercial use of Balmoral Castle tells you something important about where the wider family stands on the question of Camilla's circle and their access. Balmoral Castle, 53,000 acres of Scottish Highland terrain, privately owned by the royal family, the place where Queen Elizabeth spent every summer of her reign, the place where Anne held her mother's hand in the final hours of her life on September the 8th, 2022. According to reports, Anne discovered evidence suggesting Balmoral had allegedly been used as a luxury commercial venue, with elite paying clients given private access to the late Queen's personal sanctuary. The name connected to organizing those alleged visits was Tom Parker Bowles. Anne's response was not to call Charles first. She went directly to lawyers. Charles found out from his legal team, not from a phone call from his sister. That decision, bypassing the king entirely to initiate legal proceedings connected to his private estate, is extraordinary. And the reasoning, according to those familiar with her thinking, was straightforward. Going to Charles first would have given the situation an opportunity to be quietly managed, softened, absorbed into the machinery of palace diplomacy. Anne did not want it softened. William's response when the situation became known inside the palace was to align immediately and completely with Anne. No ambiguity, No attempt to find a middle position. Full alignment with his aunt against his stepmother's son. The legal action has not been publicly adjudicated, but the alignment it revealed, Anne and William standing together, matters more than any individual legal outcome. Here is the most revealing paradox in Camilla's current position, because on the surface, she has never looked more powerful, and underneath the surface, the foundations have never been more precarious. On June 9th, 2026, Camilla stood before the Grenadier Guards, the most senior foot regiment of the entire household division, and commanded their salute. She wore the late Queen's brooch. She accepted the formal honors of Britain's most elite soldiers. It was the role stripped from Prince Andrew in disgrace back in 2022, and here was Camilla standing in it with complete institutional authority. It looked like the ultimate victory lap, and in one narrow sense it was. But here is what that ceremony cannot change. Camilla's entire position, every title, every military appointment, every institutional honor, is tied to the heartbeat of one man. The moment Charles passes, all of it changes. She becomes Queen Dowager. Her household budget changes. Her access to royal life changes. Her command over prestigious military regiments changes. Everything that made her central evaporates. And the person who determines what comes next is William. The same William who gave one silent nod at Ascot and had her son removed from the royal box. The same William who holds a formal veto over her family's access to state functions. The same William who immediately aligned with Anne over Balmoral. The same William who replaced her proposed family member with his own trusted associate. The Grenadier Guards ceremony will be remembered as the definitive visual of Camilla's reign, a moment of supreme institutional validation, shadowed by the reality that everything it represents exists on borrowed time. Here is the final piece of the picture, because Catherine's return to full public engagement in 2026 has changed the dynamic in a way that no institutional decree could accomplish. Catherine does not need to take any action against Camilla. She does not need to issue statements or brief journalists or maneuver behind closed doors. Her mere presence, her effortless command of public affection, her organic connection with people, her genuine warmth that does not require management, naturally pulls attention, relevance, and institutional momentum away from Camilla without anyone having to try. The contrast is visible at every joint appearance. Camilla commands respect, Catherine commands love. And in a monarchy whose survival depends on public emotional connection, those two things are not equivalent currencies. At Wimbledon this month, 50,000 people stood before William and Catherine had reached their seats, not because they were told to, because they wanted to. That spontaneous, genuine warmth is the thing Camilla has spent 50 years trying to build and has never fully achieved. William and Catherine represent what the monarchy becomes after Charles. And that future, the future that generates standing ovations and brings Britain to its feet at Wimbledon, has no structural space in it for the informal power networks Camilla has spent decades constructing. She knows this, the people around her know this, and William's behavior throughout 2026 suggests he has decided there is no reason to pretend otherwise. Here is where everything stands right now. William holds a formal veto over Camilla's family's access to state functions. Tom Parker Bowles has been excluded from the official machinery of the monarchy and restricted from media commentary. The slimmed-down mandate has been issued and implemented. Peter Phillips and Harriet Spurling fill the roles Camilla argued only her son could fill. Princess Anne is reportedly pursuing legal action over Balmoral, with William's full backing, and Catherine's return to public life is generating the kind of spontaneous public affection that no institutional appointment can manufacture. Camilla stood before the Grenadier Guards in June and looked more powerful than ever, and she is simultaneously more isolated than she has been at any point since she married Charles in 2005. Those two things are not contradictory. They are the precise description of a person who has achieved formal power while watching real power move in a different direction. William has not made a single public statement about any of this. He has not needed to. The slimmed-down mandate exists. The veto exists. The Ascot moment is on public record. The alignment with Anne is confirmed. In the British monarchy, real power almost never announces itself. It simply reorganizes until one day you look up and discover that the landscape has completely changed around you. Camilla is looking up, and the landscape has changed. This has been the Marquee Report. Subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss what comes next. See you on the next one.